All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, all across the globe, I am so excited about you being here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us on one of the platforms we call My Health, Your Health today with Kevin Vaughan. And we're just excited about you being with us on this area. We have some powerful people here today that know what they're talking about in the area of health today. And we'll get ready to introduce them. But before we do that, guys, I've got to put my disclaimer out there because I am not a doctor. Please understand that I am not a doctor. The information that's going to be shared today is coming from some professionals and people that know about this area. But let me read my disclaimer so I can put this on the network. Please note that the information provided on this platform is for informational purposes only and should be followed up for your needs and questions with your health care provider professional mentioned on this program. That means you'll need to get with Dr. James and Dr. Quincy as required here in this area, okay? For the information provided, is not here intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, guys. So we want you to always seek advice from your physician or other qualified healthcare providers with any questions you may have regarding any medical condition, because we're going to be talking about healthcare and wellness today, okay, as well on top of that. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for joining us on Your Health, My Health, Your Health with Kevin Vaughan. Dr. James, thank you so much for being with us. You're going to be our lead doctor today. How are you doing today, madam?
I'm doing well. And Kevin, I am so appreciative of you taking the time and using your platforms to help me get some information out to the community that I really would like to share.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. And we thank our mutual friend there, Dr. Avery. Linda Avery,
absolutely.
Thank you for putting us together, because that's what we do on the network. We're a global network and we just use the platforms to get the right information out. That's wonderful. But before we get started though, Dr. James, let's go ahead and introduce our guests here today that you know. Please just do a quick roundtable and let people know who else is with you today.
Okay, so I have Dr. S. Quincy Harris, and Dr. Harris is a research scientist.
Wow.
So it's sort of cool that during the COVID, we got to see all the researchers, but we never saw one that looked like him.
Oh,
so
wow.
Now we got him. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's going to share some information with us shortly about the topic for today. So we're gonna be ready for that. And then the other guest that I have with me is Dr. Linda Avery, and she is a psychologist. And so the one thing that we always need is the ability to figure out why we're thinking, what we're thinking, when we think it, and if we should be thinking it. So she got us covered there.
I love it. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And we got Brother Ronald Hodges. He's one of our, he's with us today as well, listening in, I think, as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Brother Ronald, as well. Hey, guys, we are excited. This is My Health, Your Health, Kevin Vaughan, and special guest with Dr. Vickie James. I want to read a little bit about her bio before we release her to this mic today, guys. Hey, I would take probably another hour or so just to read her bio, guys. So I had to condense it down a little bit. So let me share a little bit about who we have on, guys. Hey, Dr. James is board-certified family practitioner. I love it. 35, man, doc, I tell you, y'all must be starting when y'all babies and stuff in this stuff. 35 years experience in rural and urban communities working in that area. She believes conquer fear, create workable solutions. I love it. So to get over fear, guys, we have solutions to help you today. I love it. Her services include neurostimulation, visco-supplementation, bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, and stem cell therapy, guys, just to name a few in this area. He also, too, she has a subsidiary practice called Arthritis Care of Georgia. More information is available on the website, guys. We'll make that available. Matter of fact, most of the information is right here, or we can get that out to you a little later as well. Focuses in on chronic pain management. Background also includes medical staff of Piedmont Henry Medical Center and Wellstar Medical Center here in the state of Georgia, ladies and gentlemen. Member of the the American Academy of Medical, Family Medical, and pre-COVID member of the American Academy of Aging, Anti-Aging, and Medicine, and the Atlanta Medical Association. She's also a certified wound specialist. Just found that out today. Wow, she's certified.
Used to be.
Okay, used to be.
Used to be.
And it served as an adjunct professor at Morehouse and the School of Medicine. That's some of her past as well. Key topics she loves to talk about around the globe and on media systems like this is health care maintenance or health maintenance and prevention of disease. I love it. She has been also featured on national and award-winning television shows, guys, and has worked globally in different countries and probably still does, I would guess, as well. Hey, guys, real quick, I would like to introduce to some and present to others Dr. Vickie James and her guest for today's My Health, Your Health with Kevin Vaughan. Doc, thank you so much again for being with us. I want you to get started. Any opening statement, anything you would like to say before we get started?
What I'd like to start with is, it is one of the most important things that can happen to you.
Yes.
Is to have a relationship with a primary care physician.
Mm.
So when things are changing,
yeah,
you have someone that you can talk to before it gets to the severe state and you're running to the emergency room. Yes, versus having someone that on your routine visit, you can just have a discussion about something that's showing up. You don't think there's anything to it, but there may be. Can you tell me, do I need to come back? That needs to be the new medicine. Right now, I know we're really short of family practitioners, so it can't be, but that's the goal that we need to try to achieve.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. Yep, thank you so much. So, Doc, I want to release the mic to you now to go ahead and get into some of the issues today or some of the areas you want to talk about today. But you are best qualified for that. So, at this time, guys, welcome Dr. Vickie James to My Health, Your Health, Kevin Vaughan. Thank you so much, Doc. All yours.
Okay, so I have been practicing primary family medicine for, as we said before, 35 plus years. And in the last 5 years, I have developed sort of an interest in chronic pain management. And as you take a look at the reasons people come in complaining about pain, you begin to notice that just about everybody has a little bit different story. And when I started thinking about that, I started to realize that that difference in their story is based upon their entire body being involved in some way with the pain that they've now having to live with. Okay. So when you talk about chronic pain in America, that means that it's pain that you've had for at least 6 months. And the initial treatments to get rid of it did not work. And now, once you hit that 6-month period, there is a very strong possibility it will be with you throughout your entire life. Not good. Nobody wants to know that. Nobody wants to live that way, but it is.
Nope.
So it becomes even more imperative that when you're in that initial car accident, or when you are playing football and you get that hip pointer, or if you are skating and you take a bad turn and hit the ground and the hips hurting, the neck's hurting, that you make it a priority to go and get taken care of so that chronic pain does not become part of your story.
Yes.
So 1 out of every 5 Americans has chronic pain. That's a lot of people. And when I was preparing for this, I sort of thought, well, gosh, if we're having all these strikes right now from different industries, what if every American who had chronic pains went on strike? It would totally disable the country. So that means that a significant number of us are living a life that is not optimal. So can we start looking at what we can do to make it better? Okay. Now, pain is so big that there was no way in a short period of time I could get my hands around that.
Yeah.
But I said, okay, well, what can I do with neuropathic pain? And even that turned out to be larger than I really should be handling. But I'm gonna put my foot down and we're gonna start on it. Okay. So neuropathic pain means it's pain that is associated with a nerve. That something happened to a nerve that caused it to decide that it needed you to pay attention to it, and the way it was going to make you pay attention to it, it was going to keep hurting. When a nerve hurts, it's either been damaged itself or it has receive damage to its supporting structure.
Mm.
So I always tell people, when you have an injury, it is one of three things. They travel in a group of three. You got the nerve,
Okay.
you've got the muscle,
Mhm.
you've got the blood vessel. Those three things are always there together, okay? And what I've noticed with the aging population that I care for, that many times it starts with the blood vessel.
Mm.
The blood vessel gets damaged because of our lifestyle.
Mm.
That I don't know if you can see my finger, my hand here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's say that the arteries coming off of your heart are that big,
Mhm.
okay? And the artery coming down all the way to the end of your big toe is that big.
Okay.
And you get cholesterol, 50% of that big artery is covered with cholesterol.
Right.
Well, blood vessels can still get through there, and you can still, do maybe 60% of the things that you normally do. But that little tiny blood vessel, once 50% of that gets blocked off,
Yeah.
even the blood vessel itself can't get down there, do what it needs to do, move on so another blood vessel can come.
Mhm.
That is the kind of peripheral artery disease that is most concerning to me. And when you think about it, the big disease that has that level of injury is diabetes.
Mm.
And diabetes is, what is it? 1 in every 9 folks in the country
Wow.
has diabetes or is at increased risk for diabetes. So that's massive. Over time, as that blood vessel gets smaller and smaller from the increase in cholesterol and the increase in damage because of the diabetes, that blood vessel becomes more damaged.
Mm.
There's a certain level that when the blood vessel becomes so overwhelmed that it can't give blood to the muscle anymore, and it can't give blood to the nerve anymore.
Wow.
So now you are faced with a significant injury to your body.
Mm-hmm.
That big toe that is necessary to help you put pressure and control where your body's going to go is now damaged, and it is significant to your health. Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a very big deal.
Yes, it is.
So what else happens? Well, the periphery, and these are nerves that are out in the periphery. When that happens to them, when you start to walk and you put your big toe on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
you think you have 2 inches before you hit the ground, but you don't. That's a misconception that your brain is receiving from your toe. Wow. That used to be healthy, but now it can't tell you exactly how far you are from the ground. If you misjudge that, then you're hitting the ground. And if you are frail enough when you hit the ground, you're going to bust a hip. And if you bust a hip, you're going to end up in a nursing home, and life will be different from the rest of the time going forward. Not good. If you are a diabetic and you've had that change to that great toe, and you really enjoy getting in the bathtub, taking your long luxury baths with all the bubbles and all, but you misjudge the temperature of the water. When you put your great toe in the water, it will give you misinformation about exactly how hot that water is. And if it is hotter than your body can tolerate, now you have caused a burn to your skin at the most vulnerable part of your body. And because the tissues there are not that healthy to begin with, now there's a possibility of the need to make significant changes to the structure of your foot, i.e. the possibility of having to remove some of the toes, some of the forefoot, maybe even higher.
Yeah.
Let's say that you are driving, then having pain in your feet, a little numbness at night, a little cramping.
Yeah.
But you got that heavy pedal, what is it? Heavy pedal to the metal type of mentality.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And you put your foot on the pedal, the gas pedal. But instead of putting it down the pressure that you normally put it down,
Mm-hmm.
you misjudged because the signal going from your foot to your brain is off. You either put too much pressure on there, and on 285 at the wrong time of the day, now you hitting someone in the back of their car, your car is crushed, your foot is caught, and now you're going to be taken out of the car by the jaws of life. Or you thought you put enough pressure on the gas,
Right.
but you didn't, and the car who's following you for the last 5 miles has already figured out, he knows how you drive, so he's feeling comfortable with how much pressure you'll put, but you misjudge and you don't put enough. Now the car behind you hits you, and they're causing damage to your car, you've caused damage to them. Now both of your lives are different. Let's say that you're still that diabetic with that pain in your great toe, and it looks beautiful outside. It's November, and you forgot to go listen to the news, but you think it's going to be okay. You go outside with your regular shoes and your regular socks, and your legs are telling you that it's okay, but in actuality, it's not. It's colder, and you get frostbite because you can't sense what's going on.
Yes, ma'am.
All of those are common symptoms that happens to someone who has a nerve that goes all the way down to their foot that is not working properly and has life-changing consequences to what's going to happen to you. Not good.
Wow.
Well, let's say that you're not diabetic. Let's say that you are a construction worker, and you are really busy in Atlanta because we're building so much new community, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're a jackhammer specialist, and you spend 8 to 12 hours a day on that jackhammer. And you've been doing it now for 6 or 7 years. You're sitting down watching Dallas win last night, and you've got your beer, and you go to pick up the beer. You pick it up, but before you get it to your mouth, it slides right out of your hand.
Wow. Wow.
That is peripheral nerve damage from your occupation. Say that you are the best hair care hairstylist in Atlanta, or even down here in College Park. And you're so good that in a regular day, you're doing 15 to 30 heads.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're pulling hair, and you are curling hair, you're doing all those things. And now your hands hurt so bad that at night you can't sleep. You're wearing an ACE wrap, it's not helping. You're having to give up many of your prime customers that you spent years growing because you are you're in such pain now that you can't do your job. That's another form of peripheral neuropathy. So as you look at it, it can interfere with our daily lives, from the profession that we choose to the deficiencies in our management of our diabetes. There are other couple groups of people who have HIV disease. The HIV disease itself causes nerve problems, but even more importantly, the chemotherapy, the drugs that you use to manage it, can also cause problems. So this is another group of people who end up with those same types of symptoms: burning, numbness, tingling, cramping in their hands and in their feet. Women who get certain types of chemotherapy for their breast cancer, they have the same problem. It is so overwhelming to individuals who care for these people, who love them and are there for them, that something that you can't see is causing them so much pain and discomfort. And the problem with patients who have the problem, after a while, family get tired of hearing you complain about pain and numbness when they can't see where it's coming from. So it starts to interfere with the family as a whole. These are the things that you deal with when you're in primary care, trying to make sure that you're taking care of people properly. And addressing those issues.
Yeah, I love it, Doc. It's amazing. Hey, guys, just to pick up, you guys just joining us, thank you so much. Hey, this is My Health, Your Health with Kevin Vaughan and my special doc today, Dr. Vickie James. She's with us today, ladies and gentlemen. She is board-certified family practitioner, board certified for 35 years experience in rural and urban area communities. So, Doc, this is powerful. You know, Doc, one thing I was thinking about while you was talking is that your body will let you know something's going on. That's the first thing. You got to take action when you get some pain or when you get a signal that your body needs some help, needs something happening there. That's a whole nother area. I think that's part of the challenge, is that we don't go to visit your office or anyone else's office unless we have a major problem. We can't wait. We shouldn't wait till we have major issues. You mentioned that earlier, I think. So we have to make sure, guys, anybody listening, if you have your wonderful brain is telling you something, your body's telling you something, you need to get Doc to look at you, guys. You got to do that, Doc. I think that's one of the biggest things we do. I know I'm a procrastinator in that area as well. You wait till the major stuff happens and I'll go see Doc. You know, that ain't the time to do it. I know that for sure. I love it. I love it. Well, Doc, that's great. So thank you so much for that. I want you to continue on your wonderful update for our communities today.
Very good. So we know that when things are hurting you, that there's a problem.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But the cool thing is there are people in our community that are working on the problems before we even know it's a problem.
Right.
So
right.
I'm going to introduce Dr. Harris a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
So I met him in 2009, and he had moved down here from Chicago. Yeah. And he was talking about all this research that he was doing. Yeah. I'd never heard of stem cell therapy, but every time he'd see me, he'd pull me over and start talking to me.
Yeah.
And so about 2017, I started seeing some other things going on in healthcare that we're talking about stem cells. So what I want him to do is share with us now what our true behind the scene healthcare personnel do to help us understand what's going on and be the forebearer of making changes for us, so that when we finally get to the point in our own life and we need something, they've already made it a possibility for us. And all we have to do is just go order it. So Dr. Harris, tell us a little bit about what is it like to be a researcher and start working on providing treatments for this issue on peripheral artery disease or peripheral vascular disease.
Thank you for that. And I first want to give my first honor to God for blessing us to be here. And also thank you, Kevin, for your time, effort, and also for your outreach to the world to help the healing process begin. For that's what God got us here to do, is to heal the world. So that's what we want to do. I've been involved in stem cells for over 25 years.
Yeah.
I've done cancer, colorectal, intestinal cancer research, as well as at Ohio State University, as well as oral cancer. And also we've done various different type of performances with stem cells as it relates to severing arms and legs. If you look at a previous broadcast of 60 minutes, probably about 7 years ago.
Okay.
And it will explain what we do and what I do in terms of stem cell therapeutics.
Gotcha.
So my idea at the beginning was to get the translational medicine into the clinics that will eventually transpose into the community.
So first, he's going to explain to us lay people what translational.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right.
Thank you, Doc.
You got to pull him back down, because he starts going off on the tangents of pure science and he'll leave us behind. So bring it back down to us, please.
I've heard that before from Brother Hodge. But yeah, so but do bear with me. My training and my vision has brought me to a point where the language that I do use sometimes is not something that we use in our community most of the time. And one of the things that I'm challenged with, but also want to do, is to begin to break down the obstacles of, we call them determinants. The obstacles is preventing us from understanding the medicine and understanding what we can do to help heal ourselves. God has made a total complete body that can heal itself if given the proper environment, the proper knowledge, and also the proper method by which to utilize the knowledge that we have. And that's what's most important. I'm sorry about this phone.
That's okay, Doc.
So what we want to do is to begin to look at developing mechanisms and processes by which we can bring to the community that they can utilize this medicine for self-healing purposes. And that's the main thing right now.
Yes, sir.
And that's one of the things that I'm after doing here with the clinic at Essential Medical Care. So with my 25 years of research, I have been involved with various different components while in medical school prior to the COVID, but also with my PhD with colorectal intestinal cancer. What we found was that the stem cells is something that has been already inactivated within our system.
Okay.
We find mass media want us to believe that it's something outside of us, but it is not. Once we begin to recognize that stem cells is something that God has already produced within us, that from the we call it afterbirth, but it's the placenta carries billions of stem cells.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. And what has happened, we find that the industry takes that afterbirth and create product from it, which they make money, and we are left behind without understanding how to utilize our own self-medicine that God has given us and blessed us with.
Gotcha.
So one of my things is that I try to stay close to the spiritual context of what medicine is about. And it's about healing, like a shaman. It's about healing. And once you understand the diet, exercise, and understand the proper way of thinking, which is mental health, is getting back to nature, giving back to yourself, to what God has given you. That's where I like to begin to talk with my patients about, is how we can help you help yourself, and also be happy, have a happy and long, prosperous life through your activation of what God has offered and given you for eternity, actually. So back to the medical part is that looking at the stem cells, we used to call it Wnt cells, WNT. And that's when I began to got interested in stem cells at that time. I understand that stem cells has been known since 1893. Okay. 1952, Harriet Licks, she was a sister that we still use her stem cells today, actually.
I heard about that story, yeah.
And what has happened is that since 1952, it has taken off from bone marrow transplants to the embryonic stem cells, adult stem cells. We even use anonuclear stem cells, where we use your, they call it adipose tissue, your fatty tissue, and we can extract stem cells even from that to help develop mechanisms and therapeutics that would assist you in building and creating a more stronger and long life and prosperous life for yourself. So I can go on and on, but I want to end because I want Dr. Avery to get in here. But basically, what we do here again, and what I do, is that I look at, they call emergent diseases that you don't know about, but we know it's coming. And we try to develop therapeutics and diagnostics in order to help to remedy those diseases before they get to you. For instance, like the COVID, we saw COVID, I'm going to say 3.5 years before it got here. It was called Dengrega. And I was in Belize at that time. And we saw the transition
Wow.
and transference of a certain exposure to a disease that was traveled by mosquitoes and then by bats and other rodents. But then that's something too that we didn't have the platform to get it out there. And that's why I think your platform is so important, that we have this as a mechanism by which to educate the community and educate the world about how to become self-healers and become much more prosperous and a wonderful life.
So, and after Dr. Harris just kept on me about all of his research and his experience and what was going on in Mexico and in the Caribbean about stem cells, I actually had the opportunity to go to a workshop in Tennessee with the anti-aging group, and they were talking even more about stem cells. And so I started looking into providing it into my practice. The cost was prohibitive, so we didn't really get to use it very much here. But I knew that it had a place in healthcare, knew it had a place. And because of that, even if I couldn't do it, I made sure that patients that I met that would benefit from it would have the opportunity to go and seek the care in other medical practices that were able to provide it. And so I met Dr. Avery. She was a business partner to my brother, and she was telling me about her health issues. And I told her, you know, we need to figure out how to get you into stem cells. And I've always told my patients that have chronic pain, you may not be able to afford the stem cells now, but I need you to find a place that you can start a saving account that's so far away from you that you can't touch the money. So that when you really get down, and stem cells is one of the few things still available, that you got enough money saved up that you can go ahead and get some done. You got a plan. Healthcare is planning, right? So I get a call from Dr. Avery in July, telling me, you're not going to believe this, but there is now a stem cell that is in a patch form. And and the cost is like, we can afford this. So I'm going to let her share her story, what she told me and what she's been able to help me now bring to some of my patients. So Dr. Avery.
Thank you. First of all, Kevin, thank you so much for this platform. And I am so elated to be among such greatness as these doctors here, because I have actually learned a lot by listening to both of them. And I am just so excited to be surrounded by them and be able to pick up the phone and call them. But anyway, as Dr. James has said, I had been talking to her as a doctor of stem cells.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's something that I wanted to do. I'm getting older, and I said, well, what can I do to, help my health issues, help me, stay younger, to feel younger and not feel the pain and all of this. And so I was talking to her about getting these stem cell shots. And she looked over my records and all that, and my health history. And so she said, well, okay, what I could do it for you for. She gave me a price, and it was, at the time, it was a lot. It was I think the minimum she could do it for. They always try to find a way to help the community, which is great. But, so she said, well, I could do it for you for $10,000. I said, okay. Because they could be anywhere upwards of $100,000 more. And so I said, well, okay, well, that's not, too bad, $10,000. I had to get that. But anyway, so we talked about that for a while, and I was looking at doing that. And then this came along, was introduced, this stem cell patch. It was actually introduced to me by another business associate, Larice Rivers. And so I said, well, I don't believe in it. I don't think that's going to work. So she put a patch on me, and actually in the back of my neck, and I have keloid skin, so I have a scar, and it always hurts very, very bad. and it like something is stabbing me, right? So I had to put cream on it all the time, and I keep my hand up here all the time. And so when she put the patch on, now, believe it or not, immediately it just stopped hurting. Now, that was just a one patch wonder. It doesn't always work that way. Sometimes people have to wear it for longer, because what the patch actually does is actually, it gets inside of it. It doesn't put anything, it's non-transdermal, which means that it's no medicine that goes inside your body.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about it conflicting with any other medications that you may take. And so I put it on, and it's like a salt and sugar kind of crystal that's in this patch, but it has stem cells in it. It's a little round patch. As a matter of fact, you might be able to see it. I have a little patch there.
Yes, ma'am.
Right there.
Wonderful.
That's a vein patch. That's to help me look younger. But anyway.
Look great.
But so I put the patch on, and I had no more problems. But what it does, it would inside, it goes and it filters through, and it finds that those stem cells in your body.
Linda, let me take over this one for you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll leave that to the medical doctors. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, that's how I got introduced to
that's great.
patch, and that's how I talked to Dr. James about it.
Yeah.
Because I said, well, the same thing you kind of gonna do for me. This price, here's the patch.
Yeah,
so that's how she got introduced to the patch. So I'm gonna turn it back over to the medical professionals.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, hey doc, also too, I'm gonna tell you, I know Dr. Avery don't play, because if it don't work, she gonna let you know quickly. But if it's working for her, I know it's good. If it's working for her, I know it's good, because she don't play with that kind of stuff for sure. Back to you, Dr. James. That's great, Doc. I love it. I love it, Dr. Avery.
So before I even got started with the patch, I had gone to a pain workshop out in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And actually I had hurt my knee. So I'm actually walking around on a walker. And one of the vendors sees, so the vendor sees me, and he pulls me over, and he does a laser therapy on my knee.
Wow.
And that night I was able to sleep well. So I started looking at laser therapy and realizing that it's light therapy, and that the light therapy, based upon the wavelength, goes deep into your tissues and works on healing tissues.
Wow.
So I started doing some review of laser therapy and even used it in my practice.
Yeah.
And some of my patients with this peripheral vascular disease responded beautifully to it. And so then when Dr. Avery calls me and tells me, oh, your IV patch stuff is not necessary. I've got a patch I can put on my skin and I can get some improvement. I started taking a look at it. And what is common among both of these products is that it's your own body receiving light treatment that heals it. I've heard testimonies from probably 40 people now using this patch. And the first thing that really caught my attention was that someplace when the researcher, Dr. Schmidt, who now has over 180 different patents, he's had this stem cell patch. It's working on it for 11 years. And about 13 months ago, it actually passed the FDA approval. But when you hear people talk about the improvement in their health, I was able to compare that with the improvement that I was seeing with the laser, and I could see the commonality between the two of them.
Yes, ma'am.
So then I'm listening even more to what patients are saying, and I go back and do a little bit more research, and a light goes off, because the researcher found out that someplace between the ages of 28 and 30, your stem cells go dormant, or your stem cells just go to sleep.
Okay.
And most people, when they think back to their 20s, late 20s and the early 30s, they can all tell you that they started noticing that their health started to decline then. And it's because the internal part of you that heals you went to sleep. And this individual, using some GHK copper crystals, that's a fancy word, doesn't mean much to you, but that is the bottom line of what is done.
Okay.
It's able to take the energy that's leaving you, turn it around and send it back into your body so that your own stem cells can now do the healing. So the whole reason for us getting together today was to make sure that our community knows that it's no longer necessary to wait that 5-10 years saving that money in that special saving account to get your body healed from your pain. But now we have a treatment that is very cost effective that can help you achieve some of the same things. And so our big story is talking with you is just the beginning. We've actually scheduled to have a meeting on Thursday at the E Club in College Park. I think it's 3707 College Park, so that we can do a hands-on with people, going into more detail about how something that is so revolutionary can be part of our community and get us back to receiving good health at a price that will not break us.
There you go, Doc.
Not break us.
That's it right there. Yep.
For those who come, we're actually going to have enough patches to even give you a trial patch so you can see how it works on your own body. This is one of those opportunities that pretty much God has just ordained this, that I would meet Dr. Harris, that he would fill my head with this stem cell stuff, and that he would bring Linda into my life, and I would share with her about stem cells. But then when she finally got a stem cell that could keep us all going, she turned around and gave it back to me, the person who can make it available to patients to use and feel safe that it is something that can help us control and reduce and remove this discomfort that a lot of us feel. It is just absolutely amazing.
It is.
And then all of this happens on your platform. It is just divine intervention all over the place.
Oh, yes, Doc. We are excited, Docs, today on this. That's what we're all about, guys. It's called My Health, Your Health. That's what, and we bring on professionals that know what you're talking about, like Dr. Harris, Dr. Jane, Dr. Avery, and come on and share this information. I was taking notes, guys, and we'll share some more information with you in a few minutes here, but it's all about access. Dr. James just gave you access, affordability. I'll talk about that a little later on. Professionalism, you got to have that. You got to know what people ask questions, folks. Please ask questions to these wonderful professionals. You got to know, because everybody's going to come out with their kind of stuff. But if they don't know what they're doing, and guess what? Next, thank you very much. We appreciate you. And then last but not least, you got to have incentive, guys. A good incentive, and that's you. You are the incentive. Your goal is to get to your optimum self in the healthcare. And to do that, you got to have the right people in the right area. And Dr. Harris, one thing I love too is analytics. The data does not lie. That's why I love education. Folks, you got it. If you're educated, you know how important data is today. For sure, it does not lie. You may not like it, but that's what it is, right? It is what it is.
Absolutely.
But we have people that will help you guys in this area of what we call chronic pain management or management. And keep in mind, I'm not the expert. Dr. James is expert. So Doc, you correct me if I say something that's not correct in that area. But Doc, I want to give it back to you. We got a few more minutes. Take your time. No rush, as long as your time is good. But I wanted to give you some final thoughts and do a roundtable on everybody on today. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we're talking about treating the problem once the problem occurs.
Yes.
I want to step back and talk about preventing the problem before it ever happens.
There you go, Doc. Prevention.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way to do that is we have to eat properly.
Come on, Doc, help us.
And what I would like to challenge our restaurants and our communities to do is to choose one day a week.
There you go.
Okay, choose your worst day when your revenues are not that great, and offer a menu that is health conscious and healthy, so that as a community, we can start working on centering around you as part of our healthcare team, because our restaurants, more and more people eat out.
Yes.
So they are part of my healthcare team.
Yeah.
And there has to be a day that fried chicken and French fries and soda are not the meal of the day. so that we can start learning to eat as a community and eat properly.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Families are very busy,
Yep.
but they need to find a day of the week that doesn't matter what else is going on, that they will center in their own home and prepare a meal that is nutritious.
Yes.
But the key is to get things started, have our own restaurants start working on our behalf.
Yeah.
Find that day that you will make food that is nutritious, that it has no more than 25 grams of carbs, that it will have the use of berries, blackberries, raspberries, and blueberries as a dessert.
Yeah.
That it will not be starchy, carb heavy. So we're going to hold on the potatoes, the rice, the pasta, the grits, the corn. That we will eat a serving of meat that is not fried. I know these guys have organizations they belong to. I need them to take ownership of working on making us a healthier community. And I can talk all day long, but a person leaves my office, they're hungry.
Yeah.
That's what they have available.
Yeah.
Come together, restaurant community, and start helping us to get better.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it.
One of the other things too we want to talk about is the gardens that we're going to be trying to start. Each patient that comes in that wants to, we want to have a small patch by the clinic that they will come in and start a little small garden and learn how to do the basics of growing your own food.
Yeah,
that's one project. That's called Project Eden, Eliminating Diseases That's Affecting the Nation. And so it would be basically back to Eden, and there's so many words to say.
Yes, sir.
So that's one. The other is to look at the prevention of diseases and illnesses and death, untimely deaths. When we start talking about exosomes and transcriptomes in terms of how do we control aging, how do we control the growth process, and those type of things too, that we'll maybe touch on at the Club E on Thursday, that we're going to go in greater detail of a lot more in terms of stem cells. We're going to do some presentations that you're going to see some visuals of the stem cells. You're going to see visuals of what it can do. I'll try to download some of the pictures from the Making Body Parts 60 minutes, so we can share that. And then we're going to maybe have pictures of what the stem cell patches, how they heal folks. And we will have photos of before and after of patients that you can see and begin to internalize what it can do for you.
Oh, I love it, Doc. This is powerful, guys. This is why we have them on today, guys. My health, your health. Matter of fact, I just pulled my little card. Let me tell you why this is so important. Doc's already told you guys. Why is this so important? Because you matter. Come on,
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely.
I matter. You matter. Now,
Yes.
in my right mind, doctors, I want to be the best in the best health as possible.
Absolutely.
Information and knowledge. It takes getting out of the old, I know I love my grandma and them, but they ate some wrong stuff sometimes. I love my mama and them, but they ate some wrong stuff.
They got the good sleep.
Yeah, they got the good sleep.
They got the good sleep.
Yeah, so we thank God for wisdom. We thank God for information. But most of all, thank God that I'm here to figure out how to do some things right too at the same time. So
Absolutely.
we thank our doctors again in this specific area. Hey, Doc, we got to talk about this event because it is coming up. That's on Main Street, right, Club E?
It is.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
know exactly where it's at. So let's promote that very quickly because we got some people that want to come to that, I'm sure, especially on a Saturday. So can you give us some details on that location?
Well, it starts at 6:30.
There you
I
go.
think we've got from 6:30 to 8.
Okay.
And it's at E-Club.
Yeah.
And E-Club, I think, is right next to Hattie's, the barbecue
Yeah.
place. So everybody knows Hattie's. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're going to actually offer a patch so you can actually feel the
Yeah.
benefit of the stem cells. So
That'd
that's
be
gonna be
worth it
pretty
right
cool.
there. Outside of seeing you guys, that'd be worth it just to get the patch on my neck. On my
There
head.
you go.
Oh,
See you there.
I love it. I love it.
And also E-Club is going to be opening up a vegan restaurant.
Yes.
Oh,
Also, so that's connected to the garden, because this
Yeah.
garden already exists
yeah.
on this in the back of the business incubator, the E-Club. And I had one of the watermelons, and it is
Yeah.
let me tell you. Also, we will have cooking classes.
Oh,
Nutrition classes would be
Yep.
held there. So
Okay.
we'll show you how to make salad dressing and how to eat healthy and well there, because we will be having monthly events going
Yeah.
on every month on your health is your wealth.
Oh,
So
wow.
do attend, and if you see the importance
Yeah.
of what and who you are, come out.
Oh, I love
Absolutely.
it. Oh, that's powerful. That's
I'm
gonna
proud
be
of it.
great. Can't wait. Yeah, we're gonna talk offline later on about this, because we got to make sure you guys get this out here almost every week if possible. But whatever, we'll talk about that as well. Dr. Avery, any final thoughts there from your end, ma'am? Thank you so much.
I just want to be sure everybody gets there. It's this Thursday,
Yeah.
6:30.
Mhm.
So not Saturday.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
Yeah, I meant to say, yeah, thank you for the correction.
6:30 this Thursday.
Yeah.
It's going to be a presentation there, and I'm sure everybody will enjoy it. And Kevin, thanks again for having us on.
Oh, my
Doctors,
pleasure.
thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Brother Ronald, you got any comments, my friend? Anything you'd like to say? You know some of these wonderful people.
God bless you. God bless you, Abby. It's just good to be here. I thank God for all of you all on today. I have a question. How can I get that sample patch? Because I won't make the meeting. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. And secondly, I thank God for what my ears have heard today, because I have an old sports injury to my hand. That's why I'm wearing a compressing glove. I wasn't satisfied with what my medical doctor had told me about my hand. So to hear about this stem patch today, my only question is, how long does the patch, how long does it last before you have to replace it?
Okay, so it's and this, I'm glad you brought this up, because I always have this issue with my patients when I'm trying to get them better. It took them years to get sick, but they want me to heal them in 2 days.
Exactly.
And it doesn't work that way.
Exactly.
It's a process. If you've been eating bad food, I've got to work on changing
This up here, first of all, we got
I got to change the head, but I also got to change what's in your gut.
Yeah.
Because your gut controls your good health.
Yes,
So it's a process. But to use the patches, you wear it for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And the other thing I have to tell folks is your body doesn't heal itself when you up moving around. It needs quiet time. It needs downtime. So if you're only getting 4 to 5 hours worth a night, you're not getting much healing.
Yeah, that's true.
So you gotta give me 8 to 9 hours a night to get the kind of healing that you need. Okay.
Right.
So it's the food, and it's the healing, and it's the therapies. It's not just one thing. That's probably the most important thing I could have said tonight. Okay.
I love it. That's great. Well, brother Ronald asked about how you can get that patch.
I would like to make sure that he gives, you get his address for him to give, so you can get to Dr. James, so he can get those patches.
Yes, we will see you. We can see you at my office. We can see you on, which is at 5100 Old Bill Cook Road, College Park.
And brother Ron's in Fort Lauderdale, so he's looking for some stuff in the mail right now.
Okay, so he and I can talk. We can still talk and get you taken care of.
Yeah.
So text us.
Yeah.
Text me at 404-400-5110, and we can start the conversation.
Yes. I'm going to repeat that. Yeah, we'll make sure, Brother Ronald, you get that information. If you need that house,
absolutely,
make sure you get it. Hey, guys, this has been My Health, Your Health with Kevin Vaughan. I am not a doctor, but I got some doctors on today, Brother Ronald. So I'm excited about that. And most of all, to God be the glory, as Brother Dr. Harris mentioned that as well, because he does download everything we need to know. It's amazing. He'll tell us everything we need to know, folks. We just got to listen to him, right, in that area. Hey, guys, I want you to Doc mentioned something earlier, Dr. Dr. James mentioned something earlier, but I want to mention her websites, okay, guys, real quickly. My family medicine practice is called this is hers, Essential Medical Care, okay? And it is in College Park, but I want to give you the website because a lot of you are already on your phone or on your network right now, essentialmedicalcare.com, essentialmedicalcare.com. And you guys can get everything from there, the website, there's also the email and the information as well. But call me, guys, for details if you want some more, just for time's sake. Hey, the other area that she practices is my pain practice. Is called Arthritis Care of Georgia. For those who are needing some help, call her as well. But the website is arthritiscareofgeorgia.com. Arthritis Care of
Spell
Georgia.
arthritis for them because folks have problems with that. I wish I'd known before I got the name.
Absolutely, no problem. Glad to do that, guys. That's ARTHRITIS Care of Georgia, and the Georgia spelled out, guys, as well.com. But if you guys got any question about that, you guys hit me up on the chat or the message board right now. If you want to do that, say, Kev, send me that information so I can get in touch with Dr. James, and anybody else. You can get in touch with Dr. Harris, Dr. Avery through Dr. James as well. So we're excited about that. So guys, we are so fired up. Dr. James, I want to give you some final thoughts because I want you to give us some couple of takeaways and some action items. What you want us to do today?
Okay, first thing I want you to do is drink half your weight in water every day. I want you to commit to a minimum of 8 hours of sleep a day. I want you to commit to turning off your television and turning off your telephone, your cell phone when you're in bed, and give that time to God so he can take you where you need to be ready for the next day.
Oh, I love it. Hey, I'm going to tell you a quick confession. I haven't had a television in my house for probably 25 years, guys, or around there, just for that reason. And Doc, you know, back in the day when we were busy doing our businesses, we ain't had time for no TV. We were out there making TV.
I'm telling you.
I love it. So that's what we do now. So now, docs, we make our own television network. You know, we do this right now. We don't need to have nobody else's TV and telling us what to do. We just set up our own television network and bring in people like yourselves. That's what this is all about. My health, your health with Kevin Vaughan. Our goal is to get you to your best and optimum health, guys. That's all it's about. We got to do that. We want you to live a long life. I was asking God, how long can I live for? He said, well, you can live around 90 or so. So thank you, Lord. Thank you. So you guys want to live to 90 or 100, ask God and he'll begin to help you get there.
Make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a wonderful, wonderful God. Hey, guys, I thank you so much. Dr. Harris, thank you so much. Dr. Avery, thank you so much. Ronald, thank you so much. And Dr. James, thank you so much for the connection. We got to talk. We got to have you guys back on a regular basis to talk about different phases of the topic, different phases of whatever you guys want to bring to the table. Events that are coming up, we need to let people know about those. I don't care where that in the country, but anywhere just to get the information out. That's what we do. We've got some other things to share with you later on where we can put you out on a regular basis. Right now, we just hit, this is going to go crazy on YouTube, man, when I upload it. We just hit 10,000 views on YouTube, guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is probably
Congratulations.
This is probably going to take it to 15,000 just with you guys on it easy.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
We can't wait for that. But Dr. James, we got to talk about this coming out on a regular basis, and even the events that are in the local metro area as well. So excited about that. Great. Well, thank you so much. Well, guys, Dr. James, y'all give yourself a hand for being here today. Thank you so much for your time. Hey, guys, we're going to leave you guys with this. I want you guys to share this out. Everybody listening right now, share this out on your platform. That's how we get it out there, right? It's so important that you do that. Second of all, I want to thank you in advance for that as well. But I want to leave you with this, as my mentor would say, always remember to out-love, out-serve, and out-forgive each other. And remember that Jesus is Lord, guys. Thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate you so much. Can't wait to work with you and see you guys again, okay?
Okay.
All right. Y'all take care now, everybody. We appreciate you so much. And again, share this out, guys, on your platform. This is very, very serious. Your health is serious, and we want you to enjoy the optimum health that you can have. Take care.